Hi students, I welcome you all for control system lectures. In the previous class, we have seen a numerical problem of different desired specifications like peak overshoot settling time and oscillation frequency, for which we have to design a controller gain K such that all the desired specifications can be met. So what we did in the class is we just designed a controller gain alone, right? So in this class we are going to design a PID controller using a root locus method. Okay, if you see the previous class, the difference of that and this is you are having a KI and KD with an integrator and the differentiator. Okay, so if you close this particular path, is the just gain will be left. That is nothing but the proportional gain which we saw it in the previous class. So the importance of considering this integral gain and derivative gain to meet the required specifications is to reach the particular design specifications as soon as possible, right? And to reduce the overshoot. What can we do to reach that particular design specifications is to add this kind of gains, integral gain and derivative gain. Okay, designing controller is nothing but choosing appropriate gains actually. So the design aspect, as far as the design aspect is concerned, we have to give the particular values for Kp, Ki, Kd such that whatever the required specifications asked for you should be reached, or we can meet the desired specifications, can be achieved. Well, let us consider from here, we'll go one by one. Initially, as in the previous classes, we discussed what if you have only Kp in the closed loop structure. That is, if you have a closed loop structure, if you draw for only Kp, what we have seen is C of t by R of t will be G of, if plant is G of s into K alone, right? G of s into K divided by 1 plus G of s into K only for unity feedback system. Okay. So here what extra term we are getting here is Ki and Kd. Okay. We will check only if you have Ki alone. That means Kp and Ki. So that will be nothing but a Pi controller. Considering Kp and Ki with the integrator, that will be a Pi controller. So let us consider a controller, how that mathematical expression looks if you are considering only those two parameters, right? The output u of t, the controller output they call. So controller, usually whatever the domain is, controller will be represented in terms of u. Okay, u of t will be the summation of kp ki into s, right? So if you are writing in terms of time domain, C of t by R of t in terms of time domain, we can take the integrator is nothing but the integration from 0 to t, the e of t, whatever the e of t is there, because e of t is the input coming to the controller. E of t is the error actually, right? The error is the desired specifications, like the error of the desired specifications which is coming here. Okay, so u of t is equal to kp into e of t. Okay, if I am writing in terms of time domain, it is e of t plus ki into integration 0 to t e of tau we can write, because as we are writing in terms of a derivative, it can be written in terms of a tau. It's one and the same actually. Okay, so if you apply a Laplace transform for this, you will get just a u of s, right? U of s is equal to kp into e of s, capital E of s. So just to show the difference of time domain and the frequency domain, ki into 1 by s e of s. Therefore, if you take E of s common, kp plus ki by s into E of s. So u of s by E of s, u of s by E of s is nothing but in what are the different ways we can represent this u of s by E of s. From here, if you send s term this way, so kp into s plus ki divided by s. You can write it this way, or else you can take kp common from here. If you take kp common from here, what happens? Kp, if you take it out, kp into s plus ki by kp by s. So if you clearly observe this transfer function expression, you can see that there is one pole in the denominator that is near the origin, and there is a 0 which is of the distance which is from ki by kp. If you represent that transfer function in terms of a mathematical expression or in S-plane, if you are showing that in S-plane, how it looks is you have a pole at origin, right, imaginary, real, okay, and there is a 0 which is on left half of S-plane, which is of the distance minus ki by kp. So PID control, PI controller, this is PI controller, okay, we are not including D derivative. So PI controller is nothing but one real 0 at this distance and one pole at the origin. So what we can understand from this, we can see there is 2 degrees of freedom. That means you can choose 2 particular things. That is, you can change kp. If you are taking this this expression, you can change kp and ki to manipulate and reach the desired specifications. You can manipulate these two, kp and ki, or you can actually move this 0. You can move this 0 such that you can get the desired specifications. So moving this 0 is nothing but manipulating this ki and kp alone, right? That is the value of that, right? That is a scalar value of 0. So what happens if you are adding the derivative to that? If you are adding extra derivative to that, whatever the expression you get, if you are adding a derivative, how it becomes? Same expression, okay? As we know, u of t is nothing but kp into e of t plus ki integration 0 to t e tau dt d tau, okay, d tau plus in derivative term, that is kd d by dt of e of t, right? So that is nothing but a derivative action. So what is d by dt is nothing but s, right? We can represent d by dt as s. We are just multiplying kd gain to the derivative. See, remember, if they are giving 1 by s is nothing but an integrator, s is nothing but a derivative gain derivative, and e of t, we are actually sending the signal of e of t to kp, ki and kd separately, right? So that is how PID expression can be written in time domain. And if you are applying Laplace transform for that, if you are transforming this equation into Laplace domain, how it becomes is kp e of s plus ki by s into e of s plus kds into e of s, right? So take a common of e of s in the terms, e of s will be common taken out, and if you send this s, denominator s, to the numerator, kp into s, and here kd into s square. So directly I can write u of s by e of s. E of s is taken common and sending on left hand side, and multiply kp into s plus ki plus kd into s square, kd into s square divided by s. Okay, just rewrite in terms of order, right? This will be kd s square plus kps plus ki divided by s. So by observing this, what we can understand is your PID is a combination of two zeros. See, order of the numerator is 2. Therefore, you will be getting two zeros. Those two zeros can be a real zeros or a complex zeros. So if you are solving the roots of the numerator based on the values of kp and kd and ki, so based on these three gains, you may get the roots as a normal roots or in real roots or a complex roots. So what is the information it is giving to us? Is uh, this choosing this particular PID and multiplying with our plant g of s, on the whole it will be a open loop transfer function. See, individually they are closed loop. I'll just draw it and show. Individually, if you are considering uh, PID, I'm just writing PID is nothing but this expression. And whatever the g of s they give, plant g of s. On the whole, if you are considering this one, it is actually closed loop, right? So if you are writing the expression for this closed loop, C of s by R of s, if you are writing, and equivalent, if you are taking the equivalent, how it becomes is R of s is nothing but this g of s into so how it become PID. I'll take it as a PID itself, PID into g of s divided by 1 plus PID into g of s. PID is nothing but this expression. This is PID. Okay. So substitute that and whatever the transfer function you get. So this is on the whole, it is a open loop transfer function. What we are doing is we are converting closed loop to open loop by taking the PID inside it. So when you are considering this open loop transfer function and drawing the root locus for that, if you plot the root locus, that root locus, if it is PID, you will get two extra poles, two extra zeros, and one extra pole will be added to the current plant, existing plant. So whatever the plant, if you get, if you are adding something like a zeros, depends on actually KD. See, if you have you have a poles, say you have a poles here, two poles, and say you have a two zeros. We know that poles will in root locus, while forming the root locus, your locus will start from poles and ends at 0. Depends on the dominant pole, like nearly. Suppose if you have another pole here, right, your locus will start from here and set here. Similarly here, this way, direction. Okay. This system, if you see, this is actually a stable system. If they give g of s as right hand side, if you have any pole on g of s alone, which is right hand side, by manipulating these PID gains, KD and KP, even if you have a pole, suppose for open loop g of s, say you have open loop g of s, there is a pole here, there is a pole here. If you say this one, our open loop system will be unstable, right? It will actually starts here and it depends. It may go, locus may go to this end or anyway, right? It may go this side. Depends on the dominance of the pole, which was near to the, based on that actually. It may reach infinity. Don't know the direction because there are only two poles. So if you are adding a zero extra 0, see if you are manipulating kp kd such that you will get a zeros here, what happens? Your locus will start somewhere here, and it should have the takeaway point, and it should definitely end at 0 only. That time you may get a response in this way, locus in this way. That means you are trying to pull this 0 towards left half side, left half S plane, such that your closed loop transfer function will become a stable system. Okay, so we'll check how it actually behaves with respect to the plants. We'll take some 3 examples. We'll show how this actually PID or overall gain. This PID are nothing but actually gain. Initial case when we considered proportional gain, we took this gain PID as K alone. Here we have individual 3 terms which actually gets the whole overall transfer function by actually getting poles and zeros. Okay, so let us consider example to show how this influence root locus. Okay, suppose you have given a closed loop transfer function, I mean open loop transfer function, and I'll include a k inside the plant itself. So k is nothing but the controller. Controller is having alone, and s plus 1 into s plus 2. So this is actually closed loop. I have taken KP and PID or whatever it is, PID or controller alone, and it is inside the plant itself. This is closed loop. And if you are computing a closed loop equation for this y of s by r of s, if you are writing y of s by r of s, y of s by r of s, it will become like k by s square plus 3s plus 2 plus k. So what we need to do is we need to take this denominator, that is nothing but a characteristic equation, equate it to 0, choose any value of k such that these roots will become these roots should be on left half of S plane. Characteristic roots should be on left half of S plane to make the system stable. But at the same time, to reach the desired specification, we have to manipulate this k. Okay, so if you take roots for this, how can I write the roots? S12 is equal to, in 2 roots you will get, right? Denominator you have as order of 2, you will get 2 roots. Minus 3 by 2 plus or minus 1 by 2 root of 1 minus k in terms of k. Need to choose k such that these particular poles minus 3 by 2 means 1.5, right? So if you draw a root locus for this, this is actually closed loop poles. These are closed loop poles. Check these open loop poles. Initially how the poles are there at minus 1. One pole is at minus 1, one pole is at minus 2. One pole and pole 2. So if you are drawing a root locus for this, how it will actually becomes is this pole will give a tends towards this pole, and this pole will tend towards this pole, and there will be a point in which it will diverge and go to infinity. When this k value, when you are choosing from 0 to infinity, k is equal to 0 to k is equal to infinity. Similarly, k is equal to 0 to k is equal to infinity, you will get this kind of plot. So here if you observe, the open loop poles itself are actually stable poles. System is definitely stable. What if you have a integrator here? What if you have integrator? Let us check. Let us check if you have an integrator in the system. Here I'll write here itself. Consider you have a plant, another plant. Let me try a line. So we have a system, closed loop system, in which I'll just take the same plant, add extra pole. Extra pole is nothing but closed loop pole is nothing but PI controller, right? PI, you have a integrator S plus 1 into S plus 2. Suppose you have a plant like this, taking the feedback y of s. Okay, so for this, if you draw a root locus, how it actually looks. Just draw a root locus. You have a pole here, one more pole at -1, one more pole at -2. So always the pole towards origin or imaginary axis will be a dominant pole, and the locus will form in between those two poles. So locus will be like this. Okay, and this will be this way. This pole is having a locus in which there is no zero and it will go to infinity. So for this particular plot, since there is an extra pole here, the effect will be towards the imaginary axis. If you solve, if you check root locus for this, definitely the root locus will be at -1, 0, and it will actually goes towards the imaginary plane and goes this way. So what does this extra pole on the denominator at the origin is making is, it is actually pulling the system to reach unstable state. When your k is going from 0 to infinity, k is equal to infinity, if you are choosing any value of k, certain value of k is making the system unstable. See, if you take the k value at around here, k value is nothing but what? K value is nothing but your controller. If it is PID, if it is PID, that means you will get an extra 0 here. That means this pole may end at this 0. Which means that this, when it is coming towards right half of S plane or H plane, the system will become unstable. So that is the effect of this integrator, adding an integrator to the system. What if you have a differentiator? Okay, let us check if you have a differentiator. So we'll take same system and we'll add another differentiator to that. Our right hand side or left hand side 0. Okay. Let us consider another plant. K into S plus 5. Okay. You can take S also, it is 0 actually. If you have any S, then what happens? You will be taking a 0. Okay. I mean, the 0 will be at origin. Adding, you just check it, you just see this. Adding extra 0, how the actual system, this is actual system, how this actual system will become? 1 S plus 1 into S plus 2. Okay. Feedback R of S, Y of S. So this will be, if you check the root locus for this, see open loop root locus, open loop poles at -1, -2, and you have one more 0 at this point. This is 0. Okay, 0 will be represented as 0. This is at -5. So what we know is locus will start at pole and ends at infinity. Okay, I'll just take some extra space to show how it actually travels. I'll just take some space here, because all the poles are on left half of S plane only, so I'll take maximum space on left side. Okay, pole will be at -1, at -2, at -5, 0. Okay, this is at 0. This is 0. This is pole. This is another pole. So locus will start from -1, tends towards this point. This locus will start from here. It will go towards this point, and it will diverge here, and it should go towards 0, right? So where is the 0? Definitely, since 0 is this way, it will come to this particular point. So it should come this way. Wait, I'll just pull it. So it should definitely, one pole should definitely end at 0. It may come and come inside, and it should conclude at 0. And this side pole will start and comes at this point and reach towards infinity. Okay. Uh, so from all these three root locus, what we can understand is adding extra pole or extra zero. What is the effect of root locus? How the root locus is affected? See here, the direction of pole is this way, and this will go this will go this way, and here pole it will converge here and towards one pole may go towards -5 and another pole will go to infinity. Okay, adding an integrator. See, adding an integrator here from this point to this point. If you are adding an integrator, it is actually tending the locus towards right half of S-plane. It is pulling the locus towards the right half of S-plane and making the system unstable. Pulling a locus to RH plane such that the system is become unstable. Here if you see from this point to this point, adding an extra 0 on left side, it is actually making the plant, even if you add 0 at here also, at origin also, definitely one pole is going to converge at 0, right? So the probability of going the system to be unstable will be less. So that is what the effect of 0 in the closed loop system. So adding extra 0, what happened? Making the root locus tends towards left half of S plane, LH plane, and system becomes more stable, actually relatively more stable than this, because it is pulling that those two poles. Locus is pulling those two poles towards left side. If the locus is tending towards left side, the system is more stable than the poles going towards right side. So relative stability comes into picture here. So from this we can what we can check the observation is, if the root locus is observed in the three different systems, the effect of k, when k is equal to 0 to infinity, here also k equal to 0 and k is equal to infinity at this point. Here k equal to 0 and k equal to infinity at this point. Okay, for any value of k in system 1, this is system 1, let us take this is a system 2, this is system 3. So for any value of k in system 1, the closed loop system is stable. If you take any value of k, the system will be stable because it is tending towards infinity, but still the system is in left half of its plane. For the same system 1, if you are adding another pole, it will make the system 2 is this. Root locus tells us that if k value increases, see any value of k, if you are increasing from 0 to infinity, the system would become unstable. Therefore, an integrator, that means an integrator here, it is a pole at origin, can make the closed loop system unstable while increasing the k value. That is what the conclusion is. And if you see the third one, if you are adding extra 0 to the system, the system tends towards left half of S plane. When k value is increasing, it is tending towards the left half of S plane. So that when k is increasing, the system becomes relatively more stable. So that is what the condition of the k value and integrator and the differentiator if you are having in the system. right? So we'll see how the how if you have any compensators like lead compensator. Actually saying the lead compensator is nothing but adding a zero to the system. Lag compensator is nothing but adding a pole to the system, adding extra pole. Or in terms of if you can compare actually a PID with the lead compensator, lead lock compensators. How can we do that? We'll see in the next class.